Hello everybody, how are you doing? How is your IELTS preparation going? My name is Jeff. I've been an IELTS teacher for about 20 years, and today I'm going to show you how to boost your IELTS exam really quickly. Today we're going to use the band descriptor task response. And we're going to look at fully responds and extends. Now these are things that you can do without actually improving your English. It's just a question of how you answer the question. So today we're going to look at a real question and a real answer from a student of mine who, this is her answer when she began the course with me, and she was getting 6.5, and she's now passed the exam after 2 or 3 weeks of study, and she got her 7, no problems. Okay, so what I did with her is I went over introductions, and I used introductions to show her how to structure the whole essay. And I'll do that in another video for you. But today, let's take a look at fully responds and extends, and I'll show you, looks like a good introduction, but there's a lot of problems with it. So the question we have is, some people say that instead of seeing the internet as a way of opening up new communication possibilities, we should be concerned about the effect on social interaction. How far do you agree? Okay, so let's take a look at the student's answer. There is no doubt that the internet has revolutionized the means of communication, and as a result, the world has become a smaller place. Seems to make sense, right? However, I believe that the recent trend of spending too much time on social media has negatively affected the social interaction between the people. Okay? This essay will highlight adverse effects of internet on socialization despite the numerous advantages. Now, there are grammar issues with this, but the grammar issues are not the reason she wasn't getting a 7. And I will help you fix these kind of grammar issues in another video. So we're looking at fully responds, and this does not fully respond. Why? So we need to go to the question and look for our key words, and we ask ourselves, what do we have to respond to? What here do we have to respond to? So remember, this is the band descriptor. Fully responds equals band 7. So respond to what in here? We need to respond to this, and we need to respond to this. Okay, let's put a check. We don't need to respond to this. Why? Because this says that instead of right? So instead of whatever comes here, we should do this. That's what it's saying, right? Instead of doing all of these things, we should be concerned about this. How far do you agree? Right? So it's not asking you about this. It's asking you about how far do you agree with the idea that we should be concerned about the effect on social interaction. It doesn't ask you to explain why we shouldn't be concerned with this. It asks you to be concerned with this. Right? Should we be concerned with this or not? Not talking about that we should ignore this. It's not a question. I mean, it's not structured in this question. It's not asking you to talk about this. It's asking you to talk about this. So fully responds means you have to fully respond to this. Now, any sentences you use to respond to this is a waste of words. Why? Because you have a maximum of 250 words. I always teach students to go 250 to 260. Okay? So that's 250. This introduction hasn't fully responded, but it's used up 61 words. That means there's only 100 and so words left to fully respond. There's not enough space. And then when we talk about extends, that means you give the answer and you extend. It means you explain the answer. There's no room because the students used all of this as an introduction. It's too long. Okay? So let's take a look at that in detail. There is no doubt that the internet has revolutionized the means of communication, and as a result, the world has become a smaller place. So this is repeating this, right? Okay, so you are taught to paraphrase. So paraphrasing can get you marks, but there is no requirement in the band descriptors to paraphrase in the introduction. None. Nowhere in the band descriptors does it say you have to paraphrase in the introduction. It's a waste of words, actually, in this case, because, as we said, this question is not asking you to talk about new communication possibilities and opening up the world. It's not asking you to repeat it. It's asking you to fully respond to this the effects on social interaction. That's what it's asking you to do. So let's cut these words out. Take them out of there, and we see what we have next. However, I believe that the recent trend of spending too much time on social media has negatively affected the social interaction between the people. Okay, this does respond to this in a way. So it says we should be concerned, and we have negatively affected. So these two are linked. That's okay. It's a little paraphrase. Good, no problem. Now, next sentence says, this essay will highlight the adverse effects, so good language, of internet on socialization despite the numerous advantages. Okay, so first thing I'm going to cut out is this. Why? Right. It's responding to this, and it's not necessary. The question doesn't ask you to respond to that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 words. Take them out. We're going to use those words to extend later. Okay? Now, this sentence is telling the opinion. I believe that. Opinion is a thesis. Opinion is a thesis. So you have two theses here. They're the same. So basically, the student has repeated themselves. And there's nothing in here of any interest, really, other than you think it's bad. It's a fancy way of saying, I think it's bad. And this says, I think it's bad. So it's repeated, and there's no fully responding. It's not a full response. It's just, I think it's bad. Okay? So we're going to cut out this, because it repeats this. We're going to cut out this, and we have, this essay will highlight adverse effects of internet on socialization. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 words. 10 words. That's it. It tells your point of view. Now, we're going to aim for 25 to 30 words. Why? Because we only have 250 to fully respond and extend. And 25 words would leave us 25 words for the conclusion, and then leave us 100 words for each of the 2 paragraphs. And in those paragraphs, we're going to fully extend. We're going to fully respond, and we're going to fully extend. And that'll get you the 7. Okay? The student's doctor, smart lady, but hasn't quite understood how to respond to this. So I'm going to show you what a good response looks like.